Thanks for clicking. The Toronto Regional Real Estate Board just released its monthly stats for the month of July, showing a continual plunge in sales and prices. The news comes as no surprise, as we were inundated with stories coming out of Toronto throughout July of real estate investors leaving the market, unheard of under-ask offers in the hundreds of thousands of dollars range, and record amounts of canceled listings.
I don't want it.
So what I want to do today is go over the Toronto real estate data for the month of July, discuss some of the stories we've been hearing throughout the past month, and then take a look at what to look for next. We'll continue to have updates out on this real estate data as it comes out, and we're expecting to get the aggregate Canadian real estate data in a couple of weeks, so we'll obviously have updates on that as well. If you want to get those updates, make sure you click like and subscribe, but for now, let's get into this data. The benchmark price of a home in Toronto, that is the home which contains the most popular set of features, fell in July down to $1,157,500, which was down close to $50,000 from its June price of $1,204,000, and we saw close to a $200,000 drop from the benchmark price in April of $1,354,000. So, a $50,000 drop in 1 month on the benchmark price, and a $200,000 drop since this time in April. We also saw a similar drop in the average price of a home in Toronto. The average price of a home in July was $1,074,000 and change, which was down from June's $1,146,000 and change, and also down from April's $1,254,000. So we saw a nearly $75,000 drop in the average price in just 1 month, and again, close to $200,000 drop in the average price since April. And finally, for pricing, we also saw big drops in the median price of a home in Toronto. If you remember, the median price is where half as many homes sell over that price, half as many sell under that price. The median price of a home in Toronto fell to $940,000, down from June's $985,000, and way down from April's $1,098,000. So about a $45,000 drop on the median price since last month, and a $150,000 drop since April. And it's no surprise when we look at the sales price to list price ratio, the SPLP. The SPLP, that is the amount that a house sells for over asking price. So if the price of a house is $100,000 and it sells for $110,000, the SPLP would be $110,000. The SPLP dropped for the first time in a long time to under 100%. Down to 99% in the month of July. To give you an idea how far it's dropped, in April, the SPLP in Toronto was 107%, and it was sitting at 100% last month. So homes, for the first time in a long time, are going under asking price in Toronto. And finally, we've seen a large amount of inventory hit the market in Toronto as well. If we look at the months of inventory, that's if no new homes hit the market. How long would it take for all the homes to be sold? The months of inventory indicator was up in July, up to 1.2 months of inventory. That months of inventory is up from 0.9 in April. So in April, we only had 0.9 months worth of inventory, and that amount has jumped up to 1.2 months in July. So in summary, the benchmark, average, and median price of a home in Toronto are all down, as is the sales price to list price ratio, the amount that a house sells over or under asking price, and we have a flood of new inventory. Significant drops all across the board. And it's really not a surprise when we look at some of the stories coming out of Toronto. Real estate investors, which greatly increased their share of Canada's real estate market, have left the Toronto market en masse.
You go home, Richie.
While there might be some opportunities left for those investors that plan on renting, higher interest rates and decreasing home values have largely pushed the speculators out of the market. Indeed, declining values have been increasingly prevalent in Toronto's market, where realtors are reporting more and more homes selling for $100,000 under asking price. We saw a detached home in Brampton on the market for $1.8 million, which ended up selling for $1.5 million. $300,000 less than asking price, with similar stories permeating the news headlines throughout July. Granted, you can ask whatever you want for your property. It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get it.
I can't pay more. I won't.
So, news of under-ask offers doesn't necessarily mean a slowing market. But when we look at the sales price to list price ratio that we talked about before, going from 107% in April down to 99% in July. That definitely does show a slowing market, with more and more houses going for under asking price. And given the continual decrease in pricing, we've seen a record number of canceled listings hit the Toronto market. Canceled listings, that's where the seller voluntarily takes their property off the market because they didn't get the offer that they wanted. Condo cancellations were up 643% in July. A realtor in Toronto said that a lot of sellers are still operating under the assumption that it's continually a seller's market. And when they don't get the action that they're hoping for on their properties, they pull it off the market. And I've definitely seen this in my hometown in London as well, with a lot of realtors talking about canceled listings throughout the area. So it is going to take a while for sellers to understand the realization that the market has shifted, and those houses that could have been sold in February are probably going to be sold now for $250,000 less than they could have before. And that's just the reality of higher interest rates and a slowing market stemming therefrom. And we're not showing any signs that this is going to stop soon. Although we have seen some relief in mortgage rates, the Bank of Canada is set to raise rates for the foreseeable future, at least until the end of 2022, which will no doubt continually put even more pressure on the real estate market. And the bank will be basing those interest rate hikes largely off Canada's inflation rate, which is set to come out in just a couple of weeks from now, ahead of September's rate announcement. We'll obviously have updates out on that inflation rate on this channel. If you want to get those updates, make sure you click like and subscribe. But for now, thanks so much for watching.